Thanks for tuning into my channel. My name's Simon Hill, and I have my beautiful, lovely, sexy wife here.
Hey.
What's up? So this is our Sunday tradition live stream with AKDI.
Yeah.
She looks cute. You look cute with your little...
I feel very chubby right now. These angles are not working.
No, you look cute. You want to switch sides?
No, this is better.
You look like, I don't know, what was that girl who sings that song? Do you think you're better off alone? You look like Alice DJ. You look like Gwen Stefani at a rave. You look like Pink's stylist. You can roast me. You can say I look ashy. I look ashy as hell right now.
How is that roasting?
Because I'm ashy. That's like the number one
No, but
insult.
how is you saying I look like Gwen Stefani at a rave is roasting?
Oh, okay.
I thought that was a compliment.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, it's a compliment. Anyway, let's get to it. We're not going to be here long. We're both tired. It's been a long day. And yeah, we're here to talk about the number one issue that makes people relax, makes people, rest and put their guard down. We're going to talk about Jonathan Majors.
What?
No, but for real, while we wait for people to pile in.
Oh.
So, if you guys don't know, Jonathan Majors, famous actor, famous black man actor. He was in a couple of Marvel movies. He was in Creed 2, stuff like that. He's in trial right now for a misdemeanor. He got into a fight with his girlfriend, and it came out during trial that he wants his white woman, the girl that he supposedly beat up, to be like Martin Luther King's wife or Betty Shabazz. I don't know. And I just thought that was funny as hell. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know, like, his intentions when he's saying that, but that sounds ridiculous. Like, the way that it sounds ridiculous is that's like, I don't know, like those people, important like black women, have like different sort of, I don't know, struggle, image, and story, and like...
Yeah, but they're just women at the end of the day, though. They supported their man.
Okay, well, first of all, like, I don't think the aspect that should be admired about those women is that they supported their man, but I think if you look at the bigger picture, they were supporting the cause.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not about supporting the men, it's about indirectly supporting the cause.
So the thing is, Martin Luther King is supposedly a cheater, but his wife, Coretta, forgave him. So are you saying that it's okay for a woman to forgive her cheating husband if it's for the cause? Coretta Scott King forgave Martin for the cause?
I'm not a person who can say it's okay or not to forgive your man. If you want to forgive your man, or if you can, then forgive him. Like, I don't know.
If I was really Martin Luther King, would you forgive me?
I don't know. It depends on how much you care about the cause. And I don't know if I care about the cause that much.
Wow. I'm out here fighting for civil rights. I just want to get, some little sloppy talking.
Wow.
Well, I'm marching in Memphis. White folks are trying to kill me.
And you had to de-stress or something?
I had to de-stress.
Wow, no.
No, just no.
Maybe back then it was more acceptable, but now no.
Back then it was kind of more acceptable.
Yeah, because like you didn't have FaceTime, you can't have phone sex and all of that.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
I don't know, like
No.
you're away for like 6 months or something, just fighting off like, white people and stuff
No,
like
that was back in the day, like when, Grandpa had a whole family across town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a different era.
Yeah, so anyway, but so that's why I think like that's not a quality that should be like taking from those women. They have so much more to offer. Why is he like emphasizing support your men like these women?
Because Jonathan Majors feels like he's a great black man.
Michelle Obama.
But Jonathan Majors feels like he's a great black man because he performed as Kang in a Marvel movie. So his girl needs to stand there and support him. You feel me?
By doing what? Like, I would assume that she already supports him, so...
I don't know. I have no idea what that comment meant. That's a crazy comment to make to a white woman.
It's
I'm
just
sorry.
like so unnecessary, I
but
feel like.
If you feel that way, like you want a woman to hold you down like Coretta Scott King or Betty Shabazz or whatever, should you just be with a black woman? Are you saying a white woman can't support a black man like Michelle Obama did Obama or Winnie Mandela did Mandela.
I mean, obviously, there's a greater possibility that, someone from your own race would understand and relate more to you. But I don't think that you can, like, really, how do you say that? Like, really measure that support, Because, I don't know, there could be, like, I don't know, black woman who doesn't want to cause a scene, so they would rather, like, I don't know, ignore like racist stuff or something because they don't want to deal with it. And there are also like very powerful black women who speak out against racism.
All right, so I don't know exactly like what you're saying, but let me just ask you this. Like, I fight racism and white supremacy in my own way.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you hold me down like the way a black woman could? You feel like a black woman could do it better than you in holding me down and supporting me? Or is that too much of a question? Is that too deep?
I'm trying to like think of all the aspects, but the reason why I hold you down and support you is because I love you and I really do believe in, your cause. Now so much that I feel like it's my cause too. And I think that's like, that goes together with my love for you. So, yeah, I don't, once again, I don't think like you can measure a support like that. In terms of understanding you better, yeah, a black woman would understand you better because they also go through the same stuff, right? But like in terms of supporting and being there for you, I think, I mean, it's not like 100% sure, but I could, give the same type of support.
Okay, that's interesting. I know somebody's gonna clip that in the future. See, Simon's own wife can't support him the way a black woman could.
No,
but go ahead.
It's support wise. I think like I can do as good as any woman, basically. But yeah, that's just the difference. Like understanding and relating to it. That's what differ, obviously, because I have different experiences.
Right.
And I don't have black experiences.
Right. No, I get that. That's your opinion. In my opinion, I feel like, every woman is built different. It doesn't matter if she's black or white, in my opinion, because, I feel like somebody who is, down for the cause or wants to see justice and change in the world, they're going to be supporting people who do that no matter what. Because, like, for example, I'm not Israeli, but, I'm standing on the right side of history and I'm, supporting the people who I think eventually will have justice in this world, eventually. And, you have your own points of view and stuff like that.
That was really shady. I'm scared now.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
Palestinian.
No. Yeah,
but
I understand. Yeah, you don't have to be that to support.
Right.
If we're only talking about support, but obviously a relationship is more than support, so that's why I said like understanding and relating.
Right. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Either way, Jonathan Majors, best of luck to you in your situation. And also this week in Turkey, Turks can now go to Greece for like 2 weeks. And you were gonna show me like some stuff about that, but what's happening in Turkey? Yeah,
so basically, Greece gave Turks a 7-day visa-free visit to Greece. And since like the western like part of Turkey is very close to Greece and you can take boats and stuff like that, like boats as in like ferries, not little boats. But before that you had to like get a whole visa and do like a whole process just to even like go across, the sea and stuff like that. So now we can do it for 7 days, which is a good start. And thank you, Greece. And I think you are gonna get like a lot of Turkish tourists that come there, drink some ouzo, eat some like good Greek food.
Yeah. Hopefully they can bring some of that good Greek food, back to Turkey to, continue that tradition.
Okay, I'm not doing this with you. It's different. Let's do that. It's influenced by each other, but it's not the same thing 100%.
Yeah. Either way, are you excited about that? Did your mom say she was gonna like take a trip to Thessaloniki?
No, she did not say that, but I'm excited. Like, I would love to go, and even though when we go places, we want to stay like longer, but I'm okay with just like doing a week holiday.
You can go now with your student visa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. Greece in the future. Looking forward to doing Blacks at Greece. The Blacks at Hungary video is coming soon. Really looking forward to seeing all the videos of like Turks wilding out in Rhodes in Athens, just like being nasty tourists because they've been watching the British come there and be nasty tourists. So now they get to do it to other white folks.
No, we're not nasty tourists. We're not nasty.
It's okay to be nasty.
We're a bit cheap tourists. I'll admit that, but we're not nasty.
There's nothing wrong with being a nasty tourist. There's nothing wrong with like sitting out, walking in the middle of the street with like a beer in your hand and just being gross, because that's what the Brits do. Do what the Brits did to y'all. Do what the Greeks did to y'all.
Yeah, but that's not normal even in Turkey either. So that's why I say we're not nasty tourists, because most of the stuff is not normal to do in Turkey as well. But people do get crazier when they're in holiday.
Like even what the foreigners do, that's not normal?
No.
No?
No.
When I went to Marmaris, I saw a lot of nasty, beer-bellied, pink turning red motherfuckers out there, man.
Yeah, but he's talking about the British people.
Yeah.
Anyway.
On to something more positive now. We got 4 people in the chat. What's up to y'all? We're getting to it. Israel-Palestine. So I was thinking the other day, watching the, hysteria and carnage unfold on the news that, Egypt still has its border closed with southern Palestine, Gaza, whatever, right? And all of northern Gaza has basically been taken over by the Israeli army, and like 2 million Palestinians are now in the south, and they have nowhere to go because Egypt won't open the Rafah border crossing. And I was thinking, like, why won't they open it? And when you do their history and you look at the research, or whatever has happened in the past, everywhere the Palestinians have become refugees, whether it be Kuwait, whether it be Jordan, whether it be Lebanon, they kind of cause problems. They kind of cause like a lot of hell, and they always get kicked out of the Arab countries they go to. And so maybe Egypt isn't looking to do the same thing because Hamas is a part of the Muslim Brotherhood, like a, kind of more militant Islamic group, and they don't want to add more, Hamas members in Egypt and that sort of thing. And so, yeah, they also can't have a lot of refugees because everywhere people are nationalistic and xenophobic and scared of immigrants and refugees. So I'm like, what's gonna happen? Like, what are they to do? You know what I mean? Because if I was Egyptian and I was like seeing my president go on TV saying we stand with Palestine, Israel is evil, all this stuff, but you didn't open the border, I would think that you're being hypocritical. But that's just on my mind. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of saying wherever Palestine went, they caused trouble and stuff like that. I don't know how subjective that is, even though there's proof of the stuff that they did.
I think you mean objective.
Yeah, sorry. But also anywhere around the world, refugees are considered a problem when you ask the locals. In Turkey, they're considered a problem. In Turkey, Syrian refugees are considered causing problem. And in Europe, it's the same. Anywhere you go, refugees would be a problem. And because I guess of the whole militant identity of the refugees as well, and I can see how that would be problematic. But at the same time, I do agree with you. If I feel like just from talking point of Turkey, if Erdogan wants to support Palestine, then we should also for example, accept refugees as well. But the thing is we accept it. The thing is, I think it would be most beneficial for countries who can actually afford to take in the refugees, so that refugees would be in a better condition, basically. And I don't know if Turkey can do that. I feel like possibly we can, but I don't know about the number. But we do also have a lot of Syrian refugees, so it might cause having 2 groups of refugees that are in very large numbers. That might like create some sort of confusion and chaos, I feel like.
The thing is, like, yeah, refugees cause problems in a lot of other countries and immigrants and stuff, but that's mostly because, like, they aren't able to integrate. If you're from Afghanistan and you move to Belgium, you got to learn a whole new language, culture, and that sort of stuff. Egypt, Palestine, they're like this. Arab, Muslim. Not trying to say that they're all the same. Of course, there's differences, but it's much easier to integrate. And the other thing is, like, the Palestinians will specifically cause a certain type of problem because they're going to Jordan or Egypt and they still want their land back. They're not going there saying, "Oh, I'm just trying to get away from, the problems in my country." They're like, "No, we are leaving our country and we're going to prepare to go and fight and take them back." You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like a different sort of thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like preparing for war ground for them. Is that what you're saying?
Not
Like
all of them. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of the guys, you know what I mean? If you were born in a refugee camp, your mama got her leg blown off, daddy's dead, you might be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try to do whatever I can for the rest of my life. And I'm going to join Hamas. I'm going to join ISIS, whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's like the feeding point of terrorist groups,
Right.
usually.
Right. It's like, there's the Secretary of Defense of the U.S., I think last week, said in an interview, like, Israel needs to stop the bombing because they're only creating the next generation of Hamas. Like, everybody knows if you kill somebody's dad who's a terrorist, his son will be a terrorist or daughter will be a terrorist and that sort of thing. But, like, I don't know, all the other Arab countries and Muslim countries like Turkey, are saying a lot of stuff, but they're not doing anything.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, interesting. Like, yesterday I went out and, like, the beginning of the night we were in this pub and, there were, like, two Israeli friends. And I was just, like, talking to one of them and we started talking. And, of course, somehow the conversation went into politics. And I did not ask him, like, oh, what do you think about the situation and things like that. But he was asking questions about, like, Turkey, and I asked him, like, oh, what do Israelis think of, like, Turkey and Erdogan? And he told me, like, we don't like him, like, generally, and he says, like, he vocalizes that he doesn't like Israel, but then there's also, like, a lot of things that he does with Israel underground, and he works with, like, our government underground. But
I mean, Israel had a whole embassy in Istanbul.
yeah, so he was saying that basically, like, he's a bit of, like, a two-faced person.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, like, Israel and the whole, like, talk about conflict.
I mean, what would you ideally want Turkey to do? Because for me, like, I don't care about any of this, right? I'm just playing devil's advocate and thinking of ideas and trying to think of it. But what I would like America to do is stop giving Israel money, number one. Like, if I, as an American, I would like my tax dollars not to go to be converted into shekels. No. Keep them as U.S. dollars on U.S. land, in my opinion. Yeah. But what would you want Turkey to do? Because that's a very unique situation because y'all are closer, Muslim country. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Honestly, like, I would want Turkey to support Palestine, but, like, over everything, we should be supporting, like, just saving people at times of war without taking any, like, real stance, to be honest. Because the majority of death toll is in Palestine, so we should be helping Palestine, and not in terms of, like, giving them weapons and stuff, but in terms of taking refugees and I don't know what else, like, so I would want my country to be, like, inactively support Palestine, if that makes sense.
But when it comes to, like, Turkey accepting more, like, Arab refugees, like, Turkey is not an Arab country, you know what I mean? And, like, there is that xenophobia against Arabs in Turkey, and, like, adding millions or hundreds of thousands of more Arabs into a country that proudly says, yo, we're not Arab and whatever, that might be a big problem. It
would be a very big problem because already with Syrian refugees, like, a lot of people are mad because our president is giving Syrian refugees the a lot of things like a free education and free healthcare, which is fine. But with all of that, they get to be citizens in Turkey, which means they get to vote, and they're basically voting from a refugee status.
And who are they
And
supporting?
of course, they're supporting Erdogan because he gives them the rights and stuff. So it's like, you know, he's doing something good, but he's not doing it for the right.
So are you saying
intentions.
like Erdogan benefits from the Syrian civil war? A little bit.
A little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
not the war itself, but the refugees. I think that's why he took them.
So keep it real.
It wasn't for like humanitarian reasons.
So keep it real. Do you think Turkish people really don't care about Palestine? Like when you go on Turkish media, Turkish social media, talk to your friends. I don't know if you've even spoken to your friends about it.
No.
I feel like your friends don't care. Your friends are like me. You're the only one who cares.
No, I mean, if I saw them face to face, we would probably talk about it. But I don't talk to them on the message, and you know.
I'm pretty sure at least 2 of your friends that I know about don't care. And you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, I think one of them really don't care. And then the other 2 probably like care, but
The one that
the one that you love talking to cares the most.
No, I feel like if I started defending the other side,
Yeah.
she would be defending the
Furious,
other.
yeah.
No, she would be defending the other side.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh,
Or if I
okay.
pick,
Oh, okay.
if whatever side I pick, she's just gonna argue with me.
Wow.
So
no.
that's proof she doesn't care. That's what I mean by
No,
that.
I think she would support Palestine.
Anyway, but no, keep it real. Like, do Turkish people actually care? Like when you're on Turkish social media, because I'm not even on Arab social media, but I get like notifications from like LinkedIn, my old LinkedIn account, and it's like a bunch of Tunisians there every day. Like for the past day, it's like a new notification about Palestine. Like 10 or 5 people, 5 to 10 people.
Do they care about it? Like, I think they care less when we compare it to Syria.
Or
We
other
care
Arab
more
countries.
about like Syria right now.
Really? Even right now?
Yeah.
There's no
because
protest or
There's no protests, but you know, the liberals or the leftists want to kick out Syrians because
Damn.
they're, you know, not that because they're bad or they're harming the country, but because they're voting for Erdogan, and it's like unfair. And yeah, and Erdogan basically wants to keep them.
damn.
And I feel like people, of course, because the war died down a little bit, there's not that much attention now to it.
Well, the
but-
Syrian war is down, but now Israel-Palestine is up.
Yeah.
It's up, it's up, it's up.
But I still think like there is a lot of like, you know, conversation in social media about Israel and Palestine.
But do you see
obviously,
it on your
but-
Turkish social media?
Yeah, I see it like on Twitter mostly. But yeah, it's not. When the Syrian war was like at its highest, which is like the Palestinian and, you know, Israeli war is at its highest right now.
Right.
There was much more conversation about Syria
Right.
than like compared to now with Palestine.
Interesting.
But it's still important. But yeah, I don't think like us taking Palestinians as refugees will happen.
You'd think it won't happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Turkey is waiting for other countries to accept Palestinians, even though they don't want to either. But yeah, maybe we might like talk to some countries about accepting Palestinian refugees.
Let's keep it real. Do you think most of the Arab countries would be happier that Israel didn't exist or Palestine didn't exist? Because low-key, the more I start to think about it, I'm like, okay, all the countries around them would benefit if hypothetically, if we could like snap our fingers and there were no Palestinians, the thing never happened or whatever. I think a lot of them will be more happy working with Israel than actually with Palestine. And I think a lot of that has to do, number one, with like white supremacy. Like a lot of Israelis are like, you know, white and they're connected to the white world more and that sort of stuff. But then on top of that, Israel has all the connections with like the Western European countries, America. They got nuclear weapons. You know, they turned the desert into like soil and stuff like that. So I feel like, I don't know. And with the Palestinians, on the other hand, you know, nobody hates an Arab more than another Arab. So they're just going to be like another group of like people there who just hate on each other and like, talk bad about each other and got problems there too. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
yeah, but that's only like, you only talk bad. You can only talk bad about your own siblings, let's say. And if somebody else says anything else to your sibling, you're gonna beat them up.
True.
So it's like, that's how Arabs are like. They talk,
Yeah.
shit about each other, but
Right.
I think they also defend each other. But it's I don't know, this is, I think, how do you say, like, conundrum
Yeah.
of this event, because Israel gives them economical advantages, and with Palestine, they have like the Arab like culture and community and togetherness and all of that stuff. So what do you value more? It depends on that. Like,
right. I mean, of course, all the Arab all the Arab leaders are gonna say, "Oh, we love Palestine, one ummah, one God, one people." They're gonna say all that stuff, but in reality, what have they been doing? Like before October 7th happened, they were signing deals to normalize relations with Israel, because right now a lot of countries don't recognize Israel. But what do? Secretly, they go to Washington, sign the deals, and say, we're going to get normal with Israel. Just give us, like Morocco signed a deal to normalize ties with Israel, as long as they got to take somebody else's land in Africa, Western Sahara. And like, let's keep it real. Turkey has like a problem with the Kurds. The Kurds don't have a homeland. They're like the Palestinians of Turkish people.
Yeah.
And like, Turkey really don't want to have problems with the people who say, we want our land back. Because a bunch of other people in the Middle East are going to say, yeah, we want our land back too.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Exactly. So yeah, there's that face like value of stuff where people say like we're all Muslims and all of that, but then there's underlying motivations for not really helping Palestinians. Because it's like, okay, so everybody supports Palestinians, but nobody helps Palestinians.
But nobody
I
helps.
wonder why. So it's like all these underlying
but
things that they have to think about because it kind of like, it affects the whole country's dynamic. It's not little things, because like, for example, when Turkey took in Syrian refugees, it didn't threaten, having Turkey or not having Turkey. It didn't start a war in Turkey or anything. It was more like political power between parties and also like relations with Europe as well.
Yeah.
That's what it affected. But with Palestine, if you take the Palestinian refugees, for example, for Egypt, then they're gonna like be cross-eyed with Israel.
Yeah.
And nobody really wants to be like that with Israel because Israel has the USA.
Right. They have the USA. They have nuclear weapons. They have money.
Yeah.
They have the media. They have.
And I think
Gal
they
Gadot.
also, wow. And I think they also have determination because of their like history.
Who, the Israelis or the Palestinians?
Israelis and Palestinians.
Yeah, no, they both have, both sides got big nuts. Both sides, Israel, tells themselves, oh, we fought 5 wars against all the Arabs and we kicked their asses and now we're here and we ain't going nowhere. And the Palestinians are like, y'all kicked their asses, but we still want to fight. Like the Palestinians keep getting knocked out and all the Arabs keep getting knocked out, but only the Palestinians still want to fight. And that's the crazy part about it.
Yeah. Like,
by the way, shout out to Donnie Williams. Shout out to Donnie.
Okay. I don't know. What is MB?
My bad for last time. But I don't know what you're saying my bad for, Donnie. I don't know what you did.
It's not Donnie. It's J3XOCG.
I don't even know what happened. I don't even know what you're talking about, J3. But let me ask you this. And let me ask everybody in the chat, anybody who's watching. Like, what's your solution to Israel-Palestine? Like, because right now there's this big drama going on. But in my opinion, the only true solution is a one-state solution. Like the idea of the Arabs and the Israelis living together, not in a 2-state solution and that sort of thing, not kicking all the Jews out, not kicking all the Palestinians out. But Israel says it's a democracy, but meanwhile, in their country, a Jew can't marry an Arab. Certain Arabs can't live in certain parts of the country. Certain people only rise up into certain positions, stuff like that. It's like, the definition of racism. Arabs are racist against Israelis, and it needs to stop. So I'm wondering, like, how can we have that one-state solution? We need to stop all this Israeli hate.
the problem with one state solution is that you can't really change people's mind in daily lives. If you have a one state solution, you're only gonna it's gonna take a long time for Israelis and Arabs to like integrate into each other and respect each other. You know what I mean? Because if you have one state solution, then yeah, like on paper, you're gonna have integration and you're not gonna have laws that discriminates between the two and whatnot. But you don't know what's gonna happen like in the neighborhoods and things like that. And it's not like, I understand that it's not gonna be like, everyone is gonna live together.
Yeah.
Probably like most Palestinians will probably still stay in West Bank and Gaza.
Yeah, it'll probably be like a segregated society. It'll probably be like, Black America. But I mean, not a society where they say you literally cannot live here. You drive a car that has a different license plate. You can't drive through here. You can't marry who you want to marry. That sort of stuff. So what's your actual solution? Like, what do you think would be ideal?
Yeah.
You think they should have their own country, Palestine?
Yeah, I think they should have their own country because I don't think having one state solution is realistic. Because I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah, I don't think either side wants to give up, and they have strong like arguments why they don't want to give up because they both want their own countries, which is fine. But at the same time, like it should be a solution only between Palestine and Israel. I don't think if other countries get involved, it's just gonna circulate into a whole like bigger war.
But tell me if I'm naive here, because the thing that makes this whole thing so special and different is that this is the Holy Land. This is Jerusalem. This is the place where Moses took a shit, Jesus took a piss. Like, this land is sacred. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, how can these people who both sides use God, to say that it's right, how come neither of them can like bury the hatchet and say like we're good and we can live together as brothers and sisters in Islam and Judaism and Christianity? There's a lot of Christians there too. How come like nobody can get to that point? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's not about Jerusalem. It's not about religion. It's not about that. Because like economical power and also political power is what lies behind all that crap. They say, we want Jerusalem, da da da. Nobody wants Jerusalem.
Yes, they do want. They're fighting over. They're scrapping over Jerusalem.
It's just a symbol, though.
It's a symbol, but what I'm saying is like both sides really do be using like the word of God. Like, God gave us this land. That's the whole Jewish argument. God gave us this land. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's only like some sort of. It's only an excuse to want more things, to have more land.
Yeah, to have more land.
Yeah.
To have more land is one thing, because this is the Holy Land. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but so like, let's say Israelis say, okay, you can have Jerusalem, but we'll have the rest of the country. So
like the Israelis just want Jerusalem?
No. Like, Israelis give Palestinians Jerusalem.
Just that?
Just Jerusalem.
That's sad. That's crazy.
And then, maybe a little bit more depending on like the, population.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because probably not all Palestinians can fit in Jerusalem.
3 million Arabs in the holiest city in the world, bro. That's crazy.
And like, obviously, Palestinians are not going to accept that because it's not only about Jerusalem.
3 million Arabs in the holiest city in the world. Every asshole
and vice versa,
as big as Dome of the Rock. Every asshole you throw a car.
But let's say it's really about Jerusalem and it's just not an excuse. Then I think it should be two different countries. Countries should be divided.
Oh, but who gets Jerusalem?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Jerusalem is the thing that they cannot like share, then Jerusalem should be like a shared state. Like, I said this before, it's like Vatican City, but it's gonna be controlled neither of the countries. So
it's like an international city.
Yeah, it's gonna be like an international city since it's like sort of like a holy Hajj place or something like that. Or it's gonna have representatives from like both of the countries, and it's gonna be like a tourist like destination, like Vatican, basically.
Okay, so we turn it's a tourist city. Yeah. So it becomes Paris.
Exactly.
Like you're walking in Jerusalem and like some German guy's like pissing in the street drunk. Like,
Wow.
is that what we're doing? We're selling like "I love Jerusalem" t-shirts.
I mean, that's what the, Christians did,
Wow,
So,
Christian shade.
Yeah, I mean, Christians did that, and now they're making a lot of money from it. So why not they do
I don't
the
think the
same
Jews
thing?
have problems with money.
Yeah, but it would still be more money. Who says no to more money?
I'm sorry, this is the most unserious Palestine-Israel debate ever.
Yes.
This is like
That was so bad.
This was very bad. I'm probably gonna get canceled for that. But I love the Jewish people. I'm with y'all, man. I'm riding with Israel, man. I'm riding with y'all. I'm repping that blue and white all day, baby.
Okay.
Anyway. So like you think a two-state solution is the best way, but like we watched a video right before this, and the thing is, all of the West Bank sits on like a hill. It's a lot of hills. It's on the upper ground. And the number one thing you want to have in war is the upper ground. And like the rest of Israel, like the majority of the Israelis live near the coast in Tel Aviv in that plain area. Mm-hmm. And that's a very vulnerable position. That's like why Russia invaded Ukraine, because like, they want to get all the way to the mountains that are in like Central Europe so they can feel defended, because Russia has been invaded many times by Western Europe. You get what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to say, okay, the Israelis, it's easier for me to say the Israelis want control of all of it with some Arabs in it, rather than saying, give the Arabs all of the mountains and we keep what we got. You get what I'm saying? That's what's harder for me to imagine, because like the Arabs could always say, you know what? We can really put our thumb on the Israelis. We got the upper ground now. We got our country. We got our army. We can take this. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the thing is, if there's gonna be two countries, and then they're also gonna have Vatican as like the tourist city that is governed together, or something like that. If that's gonna happen, then they can't be like warring.
Come on.
But if you're sharing a holy city with other people, how are you gonna be in war?
That happens all the time. Like people,
like where?
Like people were going to touristic places. Like we were about to go to Ukraine a week before it got invaded.
Yeah, but Ukraine is not a holy city.
It's not a holy city, but there was a lot of business being done. Russians would go to Ukraine all the time. Ukrainians would go to Russia. They would intermarry each other, do business with each other. The idea that, business and money brings people together, it doesn't, man.
But religion does. It's not religion. When is there a war in Vatican? Is there a war in Medina and Mecca?
But that's different. That's because you don't have a whole big section of Muslims trying to take over the area where the Vatican is.
Yeah, but they did, and now they don't. And for a long time, they haven't had that. And Jerusalem is like, the holy city. So if they have to work together in the holy city, then they have to work together like outside. And they don't have to be friends. But they can't be enemies just because of Jerusalem.
That's what's happening in Jerusalem right now. Like Jerusalem is a city that's like split. Everybody, there's like 1/3 Christian, 1/3 Jewish, 1/3 Muslim. Like everybody lives in Jerusalem right now, and like Israelis love to point at Jerusalem and say, see, we're not racist. We don't hate Arabs. We don't hate Muslims because, I have a cousin's friend's brother who does business with the Arab on Saturdays. You get what I'm saying? Like. Yeah. There's like, that happens right now, but yet and still this is still going on. Gaza, West Bank, all this sort of stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. But this is going on because the country is not divided equally, I feel like. And West Bank is sort of like trapped within Israel, and Gaza is like this, tiny place. That's trapped between like Egypt and Israel, and they basically have two of the same countries, and they're separated.
Are you talking about Gaza and the West Bank?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, maybe
they should something should be done, and Palestine should just have like one portion of the whole country, and Israel have the one portion, so they don't have to like really interact with each other than. But they're
gonna be neighbors, and the West Bank. Let's say the Palestinians get all of the West Bank. They're gonna be like landlocked in there. They'll have no sea. They'll be surrounded by Jordan to like the east.
That's why I feel like Israelis should also give Palestinians the north coastal, a little bit of the north coast, because
separate them from Lebanon.
yes, because in the video that we watched, which was really a good video, you can share the link, but yeah, in there it says that like one of Israel's biggest threat is Lebanon because of what was his name? Hezbollah. So yeah, maybe if they put Palestine between them, then they can't really like land invade.
But then you know what would happen? Hezbollah would just be on the border of Palestine and Israel. They're just gonna get closer.
How are they gonna get closer if there's Palestine between them?
Yeah, because the Palestinians are cool with Hezbollah. A lot of Hezbollah is like Palestinian refugees there.
Yeah, but I think if Israel gives Palestinians that land, they have to have an agreement, because also that land is very fertile because it gets a lot of rainfall.
I mean, fertile.
Fertile, sorry.
Fertile's the opposite. It's like useless.
No, that region is the most useful region. So it's like, okay, so we'll give you the most like useful region, but then you have to be a peacemaker between Lebanon and us.
Yeah, but I think with a lot of the hostility that's happened, it's going to be hard to say, all right, now it's peace.
Well, this is a solution.
It's a solution. But it's just hard for me to imagine Israel giving up land, making their own people leave, you know, when they promised to protect them and keep them safe and protect all Jewish life and that sort of stuff. And then, you know, have the Palestinians not only above them, but then also with the mountains around them. You get what I'm saying? It's just hard that's why I really believe like the one state solution is the best idea, because think about it. The Israelis get to be like white people in America towards everybody else. You have a whole country. You just tell the people you're free, everybody's equal, and then you get to do whatever you want after that. You get what I'm saying?
And how is that better?
It's not better
for Palestinians.
It is better. It's better than, you know,
being at war.
Being at war, kids getting their legs blown off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but even if something like that happens now, it's not going to be permanent. But but then again, I guess nothing is permanent. Like a war can happen again between the two states, but I don't know. At the same time, I feel like Israel should make a peacemaking move, because how are you going to be the descendants of people who are one of the most discriminated people, who were like mass murdered?
Right.
And then you're going to do the same to a whole other people, you know?
Right. Shout out to Darius B. Darius B jumped in. What's up, Darius? And we're chopping it up about Israel-Palestine. That is a good point. But then the Israelis say the same thing. They say, oh, the Muslims are all about peace. Islam means peace. Islam means submission. Well, why won't you submit? Submit. That's what the Israelis are saying. Like, they feel like they are in the moral right. You know what war stands for, right?
Yeah.
So,
but that's such a dumb argument to make against any religion, because all religions say you should be good and you should not kill people. But that in Islam, there's also jihad. So, like, how are you going to make that?
And for
argument?
the Jews, there's a form of jihad too.
Exactly. So all religion is the same bullshit. So I'm sorry, I don't really believe in any major religion.
Finally, I'm offended.
It's basically like, you know, same bullshit, different shades of gray. And so that's not really like a good argument for me.
Right.
A good argument is that you were yourself was in the same position 100 years ago, or even less time.
Right.
And then now you're doing the same thing.
Yeah. It sort of makes me think about the law of like equalness. You know, every action, there's a positive and negative reaction or something like that. And like for the Jews to be a people who were dispersed throughout the world, the only way that they can not be is if they make somebody else one. You get what I'm saying? So it's sort of like I can only be pretty if I make you ugly. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
So it's a crazy thing, because like now they're trying to make another group of people what they were to some degree. But the only
I don't think it's working though.
I mean, do we actually see a solution? Do you actually think it's possible? We have our ideals about what a good solution will be, but is it actually possible? Because as it looks like right now, like Russia's winning the war, Israel's winning the war.
Yeah.
I mean, do you actually think it's possible that they will Because it seems like they're getting closer and closer to victory. Like October 7th was what they needed to finally get closer and closer to victory. But tell me.
It's very optimistic what we are saying.
Not the Palestinian victory. I'm talking about Israeli victory. The Israelis are getting closer.
Israeli victory is like very, very possible. I feel like because they have the power, and in war, if you have the power, like the whole world can support Palestine from Instagram. It's not gonna change, the power of Israel.
Do you think
we can boycott why am I sounding like this? I don't know. That was so Australian or something.
You can boycott.
Anyway, I talked to some Irish people yesterday in the karaoke bar, and they fucked up my accent.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, we can do whatever we want to support Palestinian cause, but yeah, if we.
Do you think
we can't do anything realistic?
Do you think this whole Israel-Palestine thing sort of showed how stupid and ineffective social media activism is? Because a lot of people have been posting for their own side, but that has not changed a single thing about what has happened. Millions, maybe billions of people posted their thoughts, their feelings, what side they supported, and nothing has changed.
Yeah, I do feel like it's sort of stupid, and at the same time, it does have benefits. So I don't want to say it's 100% stupid and ineffective, because now people know, or at least have the freedom to look at the facts and choose sides. So yeah, because before social media, it was sort of what the media tells us and what the governments tell us, since they control the media. So you can't really know what's happening, but with social media, there's that judgment factor that's been given to people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not effective, because it doesn't really affect the solution. There was much more support for Ukraine when the whole thing happened. Whole world was supporting Ukraine. Nobody was supporting Russia. And Russia is still winning. What does that say? And with Palestine and Israel, it's the world is divided. Some support Israel, some support Palestine, and that's not going to do anything.
It's interesting. I wonder, I definitely think most of the world, actually, you know what, it's kind of odd, because I feel like most of the world's Christians are on Israel's side. And of course, most of the world's Muslims are on Palestine's side. But we have to remember, Christianity is still the largest religion in the world. You know what I mean? I would say most Americans support Israel. You know what I mean? Most Canadians support Israel too. Most Australians, a lot of the Latin American world. So everything from Brazil, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Mexico, they read the Bible front and back. They love that Bible. And I sent you that Instagram video of the Jamaicans fighting.
Yeah.
And what did the Jamaican man say? Let me get them Bible, boy. Let me show you Bible. Israel belonged to the Israelis. You know what I mean? A lot of the world is actually kind of riding with Israel. You know what I mean? To some degree.
Yeah.
Ukraine is riding with Israel, by the way. Ukraine is on Israeli side, so I don't know.
I mean, they're Christians. I understand, but yeah, to me, that argument is stupid, because I think religion is made up. So I don't think, Jerusalem belongs to Israelis, because Judaism does not exist for me, or it doesn't make sense to me. I don't have any problem with, people having beliefs. So that's not an argument for me.
But
and it doesn't. At the same time, it doesn't belong to Palestinians either, because they also have no rights, or it doesn't belong to Christians either. Whatever.
Who does the land belong to?
Nobody. No.
So if it
no
belongs
land
to nobody,
belongs to nobody. But
if it
we just made up countries.
Okay, so if it belongs to nobody, then whoever fought for it the hardest earns it. Is that what you're saying?
That's what happens in world. I'm not saying that's the right thing.
Okay, then what is the right thing?
That's what happens.
Okay, but then what is the right thing? It's not, it can't just be
the right thing. You defend the right thing. Right thing is globalism, but that's not happening. So
Right, no. Right. No, I'm with you. I
The
mean,
right thing is one state where all Palestinians and Israelis hold hand together and kiss each other on the cheeks.
not
So
even that. It's just that they, at least don't bomb each other. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, but
Because that's another level of barbary.
yeah, but so yeah.
By the way, shout out to Darius B. He said, it's been a while. Just got a page from your pops. So shout out to Dad for making sure I got all 4 of my subs in here. Shout out to him. But go ahead.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the ideal solution. But in real world, whoever has the most weapons and power and allies wins. Not even allies.
So this is the thing that sort of like I was thinking about with the Henry Kissinger situation. I don't know if you saw that video I did on Henry Kissinger. Mm-hmm. You did?
I didn't see the video, but yeah, I know about the...
All right.
I mean, I heard it because I was in the house.
All right, but anyway, like Henry Kissinger was like this very famous, background politician. He helped the president make decisions on what was the right thing to do in war. And Henry Kissinger's whole thing is that whatever is the strongest thing to do is the right thing to do. Whatever shows the most force is the right thing to do. And whoever has the most force ultimately decides what is right. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, the question for you is like, if Israel does prove that they have enough force, that they have enough will and might to defeat anybody who wants to take away a land that you say belongs to nobody, does that then make them right?
No, it does not.
Why not? So then what decides right? Right is just whatever you believe? Or is it just what?
No, right is the option that's good for both sides.
That's good for as many people as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Not for the strongest.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not talking about also if there are more Israelis, it's like better.
Why not? Why not? If there's more Arabs, and most of the Arabs will say we want it. So then, is it right just because most of them say they want it?
No, it's not right still, because you also have to think about the minority situation. I guess, or the less harm. Like, what is right is the option with less harm or something like that. Maybe that's a better way to put it, but yeah.
So Hamas is right because they killed less Israelis?
No, Hamas is not right because they killed less Israelis, but I think they're more innocent than Israeli forces right now because Israeli forces killed more people than Hamas.
Okay, so then whoever does the most harm is the most wronged.
Yeah, just like Allah said.
I don't know if that's what he said. I think...
if you have some sins, you can be forgiven for them. But if you do like really big sins, then
it's hard to be forgiven. Yeah. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
And also like he says, all people make mistakes and have sins, except maybe the prophet. I don't know.
Yeah, no, the prophet didn't commit sin.
Yeah, but the one who doesn't have like a lot of sins still gets to go to heaven. Or
interesting.
Something like that. So.
I mean, that's one way of looking at it. But, the Israelis would say the Palestinians have been causing the most harm because they're the ones causing other Arab nations to fight us. They're the ones who are sending rockets every day. They're the ones who are sending suicide bombers every day. And we're just defending ourselves. That's what the Israelis would say. So that you would say, oh, they're causing the most harm because after October 7th, they killed like 6,000 children. But the Israelis would say, we can't even live in peace in our own land because of what they are doing every single day to us. We have bomb shelters at a bus stop. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but it goes both ways when it comes to like harming each other over centuries. It's not like Israelis been, giving chocolates and flowers to Palestinians and then Palestinians returning those with bombs.
Right.
It's both sides basically like fidgeting and annoying each other like little siblings.
Right.
And then, the one who has the most power is gonna finish it, the whole thing. Like,
right.
But hopefully, I don't know, it doesn't turn out to be like a mass destruction.
Interesting.
Which is now.
Interesting. Avery Adams jumped in. All right. J3 OSG said, remember the Zoom call. I don't know if you were the guy who came into the Zoom call, J3, but thanks for coming back. Leave your comments. I want to hear what people think about Israel Palestine. We are looking at the chat right now. Tell us what you think about Israel Palestine. We're chopping it up real heavy. Avery Adams jumped in, just stopping by to say hello. Currently traveling. Have a blessed holiday. You too, Avery. Wherever you are in the world, stay blessed, stay safe. So, I had a very good question, but I forgot it. Oh, sorry. Are you annoyed?
No.
Are you bored?
No.
All right. So like this thing about Israel, like, they're taking it. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. Like they came in after the Holocaust. There was like a few Jews there. They were working, doing banking for the Turks, the Ottomans, whatever. And then, no, that's real. That's what they were doing. That's what the Jews were in Israel, chilling under the Ottomans, wearing big poofy hats. You know what I mean? Doing banking and stuff.
Wow.
And then Hitler came, kicked them all out of Germany. And then they all come to Israel, and they eventually come and buy land and set up shop. And next thing you know, they say, all right, this is ours. You get what I'm saying? But how is that any different than like what Turkey did? Like y'all came and, over hundreds of years, y'all slowly kicked out the Greeks. And then y'all said, oh, it's ours now. You get what I'm saying? Like, What is it right for everybody to be picking on Israel like this when, all of the Americas, Canada, America, Mexico, Brazil, whatever, most of the other countries did this too to people 100 years ago or so. But why are we picking on Israel now? You get what I'm saying?
I understand, but you can't compare something that happened so long ago that it changed a whole living situation. The first time we invaded like what is now Turkey was because before then we were guys on the horses traveling around the world, and we didn't have a stable place. And basically we changed.
So y'all were Jews. That's what you said. You didn't have a stable place. Y'all were riding on horseback.
Stop.
What? I'm just putting it out there.
No, we were nomadic people, and then we had to adopt agriculture because it's hard being nomadic. So yeah, and that's how the whole stuff began basically. So it was like a whole change of human evolution basically. It's not the same with
I mean, people spread, right? Like we all lived in Africa at one time, and then people walked out of Africa. Then they met Neanderthals, and then they had sex with them, and then killed them. And people have been expanding and growing and going in different places. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In Africa, there was this thing called the Bantu expansion. Like, basically a certain ethnic group of black people in Africa, started invading other parts. This happened hundreds of years ago and stuff like that. They didn't form countries, but they formed different tribes and ethnicities and stuff like that. So that happens everywhere. And I'm not trying to pick on Turkey, but I mean, y'all tell that story as a part of your history and y'all are proud of it. And the Israelis are trying to do the same thing. They're trying to be like every other country. They're Turks. They just want to be Turkish. The Israelis just want to be Turkish. Let them be Turkish.
I understand that they want their own land. I understand that, but it's at the same time, they invaded another land. So how are you going to invade another land and then kick out the, people who were there before?
But that's what everybody does. That's what y'all do.
Yes, but I'm not saying it was right. Yeah, I can't take the history back. Sorry, but yeah. And also, the reason why, we have countries and people do that stuff is because of power. Power is, the biggest enemy of humankind, but it's also the biggest motivator. It's what gets us hard. The hardest is power. That's why we have countries. That's why we choose to stay with people who are like us.
Right.
So because
but it's
power comes from being united, and when you have a lot of people who believe in the same idea, then you're the most powerful.
But it's easy to say, I can't change the past. Oh, that was a long time ago. But the Israelis are trying to create a future where, little cute girls like yourself who will be born 200 years from now can say, that was so bad what we did to the Palestinians. But I can't change the past. Why won't you let them have the same future you have right now? Why won't you let them be Turkish?
Because it was not right. And now we know better.
So Turkey was created on wrongness.
Yeah. All countries was created on wrongness.
Okay, then
the
so
whole
let
world
the-
is created on wrongness.
All right, but if that's the natural thing that happens, why can't we just let the Jews be natural? See, this is the thing. That's anti-Semitic.
Because we
It's
know
anti-Semitic.
better now.
How do we know better now when we did this?
Because we developed a democracy and I don't know, human rights and all that stuff.
Man, that stuff, we know that stuff don't matter. We know that stuff don't matter.
How does it not matter?
I'm gonna jump into the comments real quick
Okay.
because this is getting too hot. I might bite you. So bye, have a blessed day. Jesus loves you, says J3. Okay, shout out to Jesus. It's Ladarius Bush, by the way, I'm in Louisiana right now. Shout out to Ladarius. This is a cool kid that I used to talk to on the phone all the time
Okay.
growing up.
Shout out to Darius. Hi, Darius.
Ladarius.
Ladarius. Sorry. Ladarius.
It's crazy how everything in the world just goes in circles, right?
Yep.
Anyway, why are you mad at me?
I'm mad at you because how can you say
that
humans'
you're
rights?
anti-Semitic?
I'm not anti-Semitic, Simon.
Do you condemn Hamas?
Yes.
There we go. That's the right answer. Thank God,
But
because
I
you didn't
also
want to hear your
condemn
answer
Israel.
yesterday.
So I'm not picking sides because I hear the argument of both sides. And for me, I support Palestine, but I also condemn Hamas and I also condemn Israel. So everyone is effed up.
Yeah.
But how are you going to say, as a black person, how are you going to say human rights don't matter? If human rights don't matter and none of that shit is real, then why Black Lives Matter?
Oh, that's a good point. All right, see, now she's turning it up on me. I'm keeping it real with you. We know, we just say human rights when it's, convenient for us. You know what I mean? Turkey talks about human rights. America talks about human rights. But we drop drones and bombs on who it needs to be dropped on when we think it's convenient. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, that now we have at least the power to spread awareness on what is happening around the world that is against human rights and that is not right. At that time when Ottomans were invading Romans or whatnot, nobody knew about human rights. It was not a notion. We didn't have social media. We didn't have awareness, nothing. It was just nobody even knew about what was happening in America. Right. It was just happening here.
Right.
Until,
Right. There was just one place. People were just riding on horseback, taking people's land and stuff like that.
That's why we cannot allow things like that to happen now.
But
not just with Israel, but with every country that is in conflict right now. With Russia and Ukraine,
Shout out to Ozzy. Ozzy jumped into the chat. What's up, Ozzy? We're chopping it up about Israel and Palestine. I'm trying to convince my wife that the Jews just want to be Turks. They just want to be able to have their homeland, live in peace. You know what I mean? And we have to really find a solution on what is going to happen to the Palestinian people, because we didn't even talk really about the West Bank yet. What's crazy is Israel is sending their own citizens to go and settle a land where there's a bunch of crazy, angry Arabs who got their land taken, house taken, all that sort of stuff. And they're sending their own citizens out there with guns. And that's some Little House on the Prairie, level, insanity. You get what I'm saying?
How is that necessary when you got all the weapons and stuff?
It's like if Turkey tried to send people to Cyprus, literally to the Greek side, to try to take it. And they sent them there with guns and money and to buy a house and said, we're slowly gonna take this thing. That's wild.
And that's also shows that how little governments actually do care about their own people.
Because they're like chess
How are you
pieces.
gonna you're just creating conflicts by using normal people and sending them there. Affecting them, I don't know, physically, emotionally, financially, all types of way.
But that's the thing. It's at the end of the day, it's going to be hard. It's hard to remove 2 million Palestinians, right, from Gaza, tiny Gaza. Imagine removing, 600,000 or close to 1 million Israelis who are living in the West Bank. You get what I'm saying? They're spread out. They don't want to leave. They believe it's God's land for them and stuff like that. And they got whole communities out there, gated suburbs. It looks like Malibu. And
I know. I understand that because we did that with Greece. Back in the time, it was insane exchange of people, and a lot of people died. A lot of people were kicked out from Turkey, and they had to leave their houses. People lost their children in the process and stuff like that. You know.
Right, but it made Turkey great.
what?
Go ahead.
Anyway, and this was like, way back when Ottoman Empire was still a thing in that time's conditions. And yeah, it was a dumb decision, but nobody had any say in it except the government. So if that's what it takes to dissolve the conflicts between the two sides, then it should be done.
Like they kick out so Israel says, all right, y'all gotta leave. Like let all the settlers leave the West Bank, let them have it.
Yeah.
You really think that would like work?
I mean, if they're gonna give West Bank to Palestine, then that has to be the way that it's done, at least until things settle down.
Man, it's so hard the hardest thing to do is like to convince somebody God is not real when they believe in it. Like that's the level of obstinance that's in these people's heads. Like they literally believe God gave them this land. I don't know who told the Palestinians that's true, but they need to stop. You get what I'm saying? Like you cannot move these minds.
What are you talking about?
What I'm saying is like, the settlers are not going to leave, even if Israel says, okay, Palestine has it. Like they're not going to leave.
They have to. Israel has to find a way, and they can. Israel can give them money or something to move. They can give them free houses, whatever.
Wow,
and
you think they're only motivated
a lot of
by
people, no, but if you say like, if you move from here, I'm gonna give you a free house or something, then do that, or make it a law and say that if you don't leave the premises, like if you don't leave West Bank, then you're not gonna be considered I don't know, a citizen, an Israeli citizen, and you will be Palestinian citizen or something. Wow. If you say that, then they're gonna have to leave.
Okay.
There is a way, but yeah. Because, for example, like with Greeks and Turkish people at the time, if they didn't do that, then it was gonna turn into a bigger conflict. And there was already like a lot of war between the two sides, and it was gonna escalate into another war or mass like destruction of both sides. So Greeks were gonna kill the Turks in Greece, and then Turkey was probably gonna kill all the Greeks in Turkey. It was gonna cause even more trouble.
Right.
So
are you saying like every people deserves their own nation?
Why are you doing this to me?
I'm just asking you. I'm asking you the hard questions. If you don't want to answer, you don't have to, but we know what side you're on. I'm joking.
Obviously, if both sides were peaceful with each other, like I'm talking about Turkey and Greece, in that case, it's fine that if both sides stay together, but because of that time's condition, it was like enemies living in the same grounds, so it wasn't possible.
Right.
But yeah, like I think if we could have made peace back then and the Greeks stayed in our country, I feel like our country would be better now. And also Greek would be better because Turkish people stayed there too.
And what, brought food?
Sure.
Are you mad at me?
Yes.
Are you mad?
Because you have to stop this like food debate, Greek.
I'm saying that y'all brought the food there. Like y'all brought them the culture.
Anyway, whatever it is, it would have been better because diversity makes stuff better.
Right. America
is only one of the best nations in the world because at the time they brought a bunch of Africans there and it created diversity.
They brought the people that built the nation.
Exactly.
And made everything good about it.
Exactly.
The ports, the roads, the railroads, the culture, the food, the slang.
That's what I'm saying. That's one of the biggest reasons why America is the America that is today.
So you're saying, okay, no more jokes. I was gonna.
And obviously, the people who were enslaved had to be peaceful because it was survival for them.
Right.
But anyway.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Do we have any solution or like any final words on the Israeli-Palestine thing?
Do you have one?
I do, because I just want to make this very clear. This whole time I was making some very anti-Semitic jokes towards the Arab people.
Supporting.
No. I was making some I was making very anti-Semitic jokes towards the Arabs. I said, nobody hates an Arab more than an Arab, which is kind of funny because I heard it in Tunisia. I heard an Arab say this, but maybe I can't say it because I'm a Zanj, whatever. What else? I also made some Jewish money jokes. Sorry about that. If anybody's got offended about that, I'm not here. You know what, guys? You know me. You know me. You know what side I'm on. You know how I'm rocking. You know what I really feel like. This is big leftist top, man. I only do this with the left arm because that's how far left I am. You feel me? But let me keep it real with you. Let me keep it real with you. I really wish that this problem that is happening with Israel and Palestine actually ends in a solution where both sides can reconcile and find some peace. Because as a Black American, I can see a lot of both sides of the argument because we have a very unique perspective as Black Americans because we've been a historically oppressed people, but we're also a people who have been dispersed throughout the country, chased throughout our country, told we can't live in certain places. And so then we create communities that might seem sort of insular. We didn't start killing people that moved into Detroit or Houston or Atlanta. We didn't start doing that, but we do have some insular communities and stuff like that. And we have drama within ourselves. And there is still a movement, some sort of movement within Black people to have a nation of our own, as in like we take a state in the US. We take all of South Carolina and Alabama or something. You get what I'm saying? Or we just all move back to Africa together and build our communities there. So we have a lot in common, like with the Jews and like how they view their safety and security. Because as a people without a state, I can't go back to America and expect to be, protected by my own state. I can sympathize with Jewish people who say, I can't just go to Germany. I can't just go to Italy because those places have historically like killed us and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's hard for me to, really it's hard for me to even pick a side in this. But like we said earlier, the social media stuff, talking about this online doesn't make a difference. It just ruins people's lives. If I were to get on here and really start going off on Israel or going off on Palestine, it's just going to hurt myself no matter what. I'm sick of seeing Black people lose their jobs, lose their careers, lose their friends over arguing about a country that you'll never go to and people who you'll never meet who will look at you and say, go back to Sudan. You get what I'm saying? That's what's hard for me to do. Do you think I should care though? Like if you didn't know me and this was our first date and obviously your pussy's dry because I'm talking like this, but I'm talking this shit to you, how would you try to convince me to care?
Honestly, all I care about is really in this situation and in any sort of a war situation is the casualties, to be honest. So I don't even care that much about the politics side of the whole thing, like who's right, who owns the land, all of this. Like, I don't really care. To me, finding a solution and supporting a cause is about doing the least damage. So maybe that's why I would try to convince you to care about the conflict, because I understand that maybe you feel like, oh, like if I go to Israel or if I go to Palestine, I'm still gonna be, treated bad. They're still maybe probably gonna call me like racial slurs and things like that. So I don't want to care about people who don't really care about me. You can say that, like, what have they done for the Black cause or something, and I don't know, maybe something like that is making you like think about not caring and stuff. But it's also not my place to tell you like, that you're wrong or anything, because you're probably right. There is racist people all around the world, though. It's not limited with Palestine and Israel. So
right. That's what makes me not care even more about other people's stuff. Because like you just said, there are racist people all across the world. Why should I care if China invades Taiwan, or if the Hungarians say they're going to slaughter all the gypsies, or if Turkey's going to murder the Kurds, when there's the word for the N-word in gypsy, there's the N-word in Kurdish, and there's the N-word in Taiwanese. And
I know it's a lot telling you like this, It's very like no, god damn it, what's the word? It's very like positive thinking to say this when I say like, how are you gonna expect people to help you if you don't help people, something like that.
But they've never helped us,
Exactly.
and we've only helped them.
That's why it's hard, but
We've only helped them. Like,
the only way that you can like reverse this sort of judgment is like proving yourself over and over again, which is a pity, and you should not like try. You shouldn't have to try to do that, but.
see, that's the hardest thing about saying that. That's the hardest thing about saying that I should care about Israel and Palestine, because maybe one day the Arabs will be nice to black people, because we've only helped them throughout their history. Literally, the prophets, all of the prophets' best friends, black ass people. Then we still go. And then what did they do as soon as the prophet died? Went into Africa and enslaved all of us. You get what I'm saying? Muhammad Ali lost his whole career because he said, I'm not going to go to Vietnam and kill no Asian person who never called me nigger. And then little did Muhammad Ali know, they said, nigger, don't come. You get what I'm saying? Like, he lost his whole career for that, like, every single time. Like, every time we try to stand up for a certain group, they just stab us in the back. Or they never respected us in the first place. Yeah. So that's why I think, actually, we will get respect from Turkish people, from Arab people, from Chinese people, when we say, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all like how you say fuck us. We don't even know y'all and y'all say fuck us. So we know you now and we'll say fuck you. You get what I'm saying? That's what I feel like is the only way for us to actually
I know,
get
that's
that
why I said like it's too positive. It's stupidly optimistic for me to say that to you and then expect you to do that. Because that's not fair to you as a people. To constantly help people and support people and never be certain that they will help you back in return.
Or not even know them. Like, we don't even think about them, but they think about us and already have shit ready for us. And I know a lot of the times it's not their fault. You know, sometimes it's Western media, but other times it's like, how did you even think of a word for black man in Mongolian, bro? Like, how did you even get to that point? How did y'all even decide to sit down and put that in the dictionary? Black devil, what? Are you serious?
So if this was our first date, I would make some arguments, but I would not like force you to believe in it. And my pussy wouldn't be dry. I understand where you're coming from. So yeah, I wouldn't be like, oh, look at this man that doesn't care about like children dying or something like that.
No, I definitely would not say that on the first date. If somebody did start talking about Israel or Palestine on the first date, would that be like a big red flag?
No, why would it be a red flag?
Because you don't know what they're going to say. Or what if they get too animated about it?
I mean, don't get too animated about it. Shit, I didn't start the war. But, you know, I think it's okay to talk politics and stuff on the first date. And actually beneficial because, you know, you want to be with somebody that's kind of has the same thinking as you.
Okay. All right. What's more attractive? Somebody who doesn't care or somebody who, like, is the opposite of your opinion, but very passionate about it? What's more attractive? Yeah.
That's such a weird question, Simon.
Because I'm going to be that.
Wow. Honestly, I would prefer the person who doesn't care. Because if you're like too passionate about the other side and like, you just have to be like open-minded. To discuss, and if you don't like accept or see any other possibilities or perspectives, that's a dumb person for me. Okay. To be closed off to like other ideas. So at least maybe I can try to like pursue the person who doesn't care.
Do you think all this Israel-Palestine stuff really just comes down to like weird sexual tension between the Arabs and Jews? Like they don't know how to deal with, you know, the forbidden fruit?
You're gonna get canceled.
How am I gonna get canceled? No, it's like a real serious question.
Yeah, they're like, killing everybody, like both Israelis and Palestinians because of sexual tension.
No, because I see, this is my theory. This is a theory that will not be proven until smarter people come after me and they research. But my theory about, how can I say this? Some people, okay. There are people who like, you know, to be dominated, right? subs, right? And then there are people who like to be humiliated. Like that's another level of like subjugation and stuff like that. And I have a theory that like all fascists really want to be subjugated. That's why they do the outlandish.
They want to be submissive?
They want to be subjugated, but they're sassy brats who want to be like forced into submission.
Okay.
So for example, like Hitler, right? He was a big sassy brat.
Okay.
He really wanted somebody to just nail him down and pile him. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's why he invaded Russia, because there was no point of invading Russia. He had all of Europe on lock, and he was about to go west, but then he decided to go east too. So that's sassy brat behavior. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
He's like, oh, punish me, daddy. You know what I mean? Like he was like, Russia, like do something like that. You get what I'm saying? You feel me? No, you feel me?
Unfortunately, I do.
So like, you don't have to agree with me about any of this. You could just say like my mom said, you're weird. But no.
You are weird. I agree with your mom.
But no. Like think about it. And also like the Confederacy, like in the U.S., like these people wanted to fight and die over fighting for slaves. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they did the worst strategies ever, like try to like run straight up in D.C. Like punish me, Danny. I'm the big bad.
Like
Southerner.
they're always doing like overtly stupid things.
They were doing the overtly stupid things, like
right after like when they can actually have what they want.
Yeah, when they actually have what they want, they do the worst thing. That's why the fascists never win. That's why Nazi Germany never won. The slavery got abolished. You get what I'm saying? Every time. This is my opinion, though. It's my opinion.
So what you're saying is that none of those people actually won, not because good guys always win.
It's because...
But because bad guys are little brats.
Who want to get bent over. They secretly want that.
And the good guys are the ones who bent them over?
Yes. But they never knew that the bad guys secretly wanted to get bent over the whole time.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Well,
so,
okay.
Go ahead. But this is my theory. This is my sexual tension, Simon's sexual tension theory. So So the Israelis are not the typical fascists who want to get bent over by the Arabs. They don't really want that.
Yeah.
But what is happening is that secretly there is an admiration and love of Arab culture. So Arab philophobia. Sort of like Negro philophobia in the US. Like white people secretly love and hate black people at the same time. Because in the Jewish culture, you have the Sephardic Jews who are like white-ish. You have the Mizrahi Jews who are like brown-skinned Arab. And then you have the Ashkenazi who are like white. Blonde hair, blue eye, white. You get what I'm saying? And the Mizrahi and the Sephardic are more like Arabs. You know, doing challah, kissing each other on the cheek, you know, listening to loud Habibi music.
Yeah.
You get like that?
Yeah.
And they're dominating like, you know, Jewish culture. Am I ranting?
No, but I don't know where you're going with
What I'm going with this is like, when we look at Netanyahu and all the top Israelis, they're all like the Ashkenazi Jews, super white. So they're like the white supremacists of Jews.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
So they're the ones who want to get bent over.
No, they don't want to get bent over. They have Arab philophobia because they're surrounded by this culture, but they secretly hate it because it's not like the culture that they had in Europe and what they imagine Jewish people to be. You get what I'm saying? So what's happening is like the top brass of the Israelis are looking at the Arabs and they're like the ultimate forbidden other. And they're like, oh, we hate you. We love you. We love your music. Yeah, but we want to fuck you. And we want you to fuck us. You know what I mean? Like it's like this weird back and forth. You get what I'm saying?
Oh my God, yes.
Is this so? You're not following my theory. Nobody
I am
gets
following it, but you're gonna get canceled.
I'm not gonna
saying shit like that.
How am I gonna get canceled?
No, it actually makes sense, but it's not. This cannot be the source of all of this. Maybe it's a contributing factor, but just because they love and hate Arabs is not why they started a war, obviously, because they want power.
I believe in a deeper psychosocial reasoning. You know how your guy Freud said deep down inside we all want to kill our father, sleep with our mother. They secretly want to eat baklava and do dabka. You get what I'm saying? They want to say like Netanyahu definitely does like role play in hijab.
Wow.
He definitely like wears hijab. He definitely wears hijab, high heels, brassiere. late night, cameras off. Definitely. He definitely gets down.
Ew. That was such a gross thing to like think about.
I'm sorry, but that's the only way I can rationalize this sort of barbarity, savagery. There has to be some sort of like deeper psychosocial function in the mind that causes these things to happen. This was the weirdest thing I've ever said.
Yes. But no, it makes sense.
You don't
I
have
think.
to say it makes sense.
No, but it does. I mean, at least to me it does because, you know, come on, I study psychology, so I can understand if there was like something more that's going on in, you know, these world leaders or whatnot. So yeah, I can understand that. But maybe that's what behind their motivation and passion towards doing all of these like bad things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe that's why they're so motivated to, you know, kill all those people and do all those bad things. And obviously there are like more solid reasons too, that is like reasonable to the world. But yeah, psychologically this could be like the unconscious motivation, like to create policies, buy weapons, and you know.
Right. And it's like, you know, the otherization of the Arabs. And I hate that we're looking at it only from the Israeli perspective because, you know, they're the ones who have the most prominent voice. But I'm sure there's an otherization of the Israelis from the Arab perspective. But when I look at that otherization cannot happen without sexualization as well. In my personal theory, in Simon's grand meta theory of life. So otherization happens. The Israelis define themselves as we are not Arab, and all things that are Arab are this, and this, and we are Israeli, and this makes us this, and this. Okay. And naturally, they're going to have bias towards their side and ascribe negative things towards that side. You get what I'm saying? And so that otherization that also happens as well also deals with sexuality, in my opinion, because like you would also view the other sometimes as either being, you know, different than you. It's sexually. I'm drunk as hell, but you get what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
No.
You would also.
I don't understand. So Palestinians are like othering Israelis too.
They would.
There's a sexual motive behind that too.
No, not a sexual motive, but a different sexual perspective of who they are.
Okay, maybe it's like they secretly enjoy being submissive on the outside looking, but inside looking they're dominant because they're gonna bend over Israelis. So they secretly enjoy that process too. Is that what you're saying?
Bending over does not have to always happen in the meta theory.
Or at least that's what they fantasize about.
Bending over does not
unconsciously.
I should have explained this better.
Okay, it does not have to occur, but I'm saying that's what they fantasize about unconsciously, and in the surface it looks like they're submissive.
No, I don't think the Palestinians are submissive. I'm not analyzing the Palestinian point of view because I couldn't. I shouldn't.
Analyze or analyze?
Analyze. I'm not doing anything anal. No, that's funny. Listen. All I was saying is that there's a deep psychosocial, philosophical thing that's happening in the Israeli mind that has to be there for them to allow this sort of savagery, barbarity, and viciousness to befall the Palestinian people. You get what I'm saying? Because no people can do the inhumane to other humans unless they view them as less than human or non-human. Yeah. If that makes sense. So that takes a lot of working and churning of the mind, conditioning of the mind to make it so that you are able to drop that bomb on what you know as a hospital. And the same also goes as well to the Hamas fighters who broke in there and shot the people at the festival. There has to be some social conditioning, mental conditioning that allows that sort of thought process to go through to allow the trigger to be pulled. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I understand. And of course, I feel like this applies to mostly people in power. And then those people in power sort of put propaganda and brainwash into general people who then start to think like the ones in power, basically. Exactly. So that's sort of like unconscious
sexual hatred or love. I don't know how to put it.
Philophobia.
Yeah, philophobia kind of like spreads through brainwash and propaganda into the general people.
Because philophobia became very prominent when, you know, October 7th happened. And I remember like sitting here on the computer on Chaotic. And like the first images that I remember really sticking out of all the videos that came out was like this Israeli girl screaming, please, 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 at the back of a motorcycle, and a bunch of Arab men drive her away. And then the video cuts off. I think I showed you that one.
I guess.
Either way, there was a bunch of videos like that coming out of them like literally picking up women, throwing them in the back of the truck, and all the Arabs are cheering and stuff like that, and then they drive away. And the video cuts off 30 seconds. You get what I'm saying? And that's like a deep psychological burn on the Israelis definitely. For obvious reasons. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, like use of like attacking women and raping women and things like that in war is very, very psychological because you're killing like reproduction basically system of that society, and also like symbol for purity and you know, motherhood and niceness and all of those like positive things is woman. So you're basically taking that away, and there's some like sexual, you know, psychosexual reasoning to that as well.
Even if no Hamas members raped a single Israeli woman, what they did was rape the mind of every single Israeli man when they did that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not saying that like they actually did it.
Yeah,
or
no.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe they did not. I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt it because I think honestly, most likely what Hamas did was that they took people who thought that they were going to be taken by savages, monsters, demons to the underground netherworld, and then probably gave them the nicest food, talked to them very kindly. They probably did super nice things to them to try to prove even more the wrongs of what the Israelis are doing. I know that Hamas went in there and like laid down people, because I saw the videos myself. You know, they shot a whole man's hand off. They took another Arab man who was hiding in the bathroom and said, please, please, Allahu Akbar. And he said, shut up, bitch, and get down on the ground. It's like, where's your Allah now? You were serving the Israeli devils. You get what I'm saying? So like, I'm sorry if I'm boring you.
No.
But like, there was Hamas did a lot of bad things, but I think what they were trying to do was with the civilians that they kidnapped, what they were going to do is try to turn propaganda agents to send back out there to the Israeli society. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right. You tired?
No, I was just thinking about it. It's a good theory. I think it's a good theory.
Anyway, I can tell you're tired.
Should I do that as my thesis?
No, I mean, that's a very hard
thing.
But
I don't know how to basically measure that. But
you would ask the people questions. You could ask, if you were to do that.
I would have to create a whole
questionnaire.
Like,
about how do people view each other.
Because it's hard to measure something that's unconscious.
Well, it depends on the questions you ask, right? And the tests and exams you do.
Yeah, but like, yes, but also, anyway, we'll talk.
Either way, I find sexuality to be very interesting, because sexuality, I believe, is the true realm where you can find out more about that person. When you find out what they like, what they don't like, what they view as grotesque, because what is grotesque is always the most elusive and attractive to a person. And so nothing is more grotesque to the Israeli than the Arab. You get what I'm saying? And maybe I'm viewing this through my sick, twisted American mind, but, you know, American porn plays with those ideas all the time. And they use those fears and ideas about, others and play them up to the umpteenth degree. And those become like the biggest videos, or like the biggest niches and fetishes and that sort of thing. That's why trans porn is blowing up now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because
it's always viewed as that other. I don't know how we went from, Palestinians to trans porn.
It's because of you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, but let's wrap this up.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry for this very sick and disturbing live stream. But this was actually very deep for me.
Yeah.
It was very deep. Peace in Palestine.